The moon hung high in the inky black sky, casting eerie shadows over the dense forest. Sarah clutched her flashlight, its beam piercing through the darkness, as she and her younger brother, Max, trudged along the narrow path. They were headed to their grandmother's house, a secluded cabin nestled deep within the woods. Grandma had always been a bit eccentric, but tonight, something felt different, more sinister.
The siblings had always enjoyed their visits, filled with stories by the fireplace and homemade cookies. But this time, the forest seemed to whisper secrets, the trees creaking as if trying to warn them of the dangers ahead. The air grew colder with each step, and the silence was occasionally broken by the distant hoot of an owl or the rustle of unseen creatures. As they approached the clearing where the cabin stood, they noticed something strange. The front door was ajar, swinging slightly in the breeze. Sarah's heart pounded in her chest as she gestured for Max to stay behind her. They cautiously stepped inside, calling out for their grandmother, but there was no response. The living room was in disarray, furniture overturned and a sense of chaos lingering in the air. Sarah and Max exchanged worried glances. "We need to find Grandma," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. They began to search the house, moving from room to room. In the dim light, they saw signs of a struggle, and their fear grew. The children found a trail of muddy footprints leading to the basement door, which was slightly open. With a deep breath, Sarah pushed the door open, and they descended the creaky stairs. The basement was cold and damp, filled with old furniture and forgotten memories. In the corner, they found their grandmother, bound and gagged, her eyes wide with fear. They rushed to her side, frantically working to untie her. Before they could free her, a chilling giggle echoed through the basement. Sarah and Max froze, turning to see two figures standing at the top of the stairs. It was two children, a boy and a girl, their eyes glinting with malevolence. They looked no older than 10, but there was something disturbingly wrong about them. The boy held a sharp knife, and the girl clutched a blood-stained doll. "Grandma's been naughty," the girl said, her voice sing-song and sweet, yet dripping with malice. "She tried to stop our game." The siblings realized with horror that these were the killer children their grandmother had warned them about in her stories, tales they had always dismissed as mere bedtime frighteners. The children moved closer, their footsteps light and silent, like predators stalking their prey. Max, summoning all his courage, grabbed a broken chair leg from the floor. "Stay back," he shouted, his voice wavering but determined. Sarah joined him, picking up a rusted garden hoe. They stood between their grandmother and the murderous duo, ready to fight. The boy lunged forward with his knife, but Max parried the blow, the sound of metal clashing against wood echoing through the basement. Sarah swung the hoe at the girl, who dodged nimbly, her giggles growing louder. The siblings fought fiercely, driven by the need to protect their grandmother and each other. In a moment of desperation, Sarah managed to knock the knife out of the boy's hand. Max seized the opportunity, tackling him to the ground. Meanwhile, Sarah swung the hoe at the girl again, this time landing a solid hit. The girl screamed, dropping her doll and clutching her arm. As the children retreated up the stairs, their faces twisted in anger, Sarah and Max quickly freed their grandmother. "We have to get out of here," Grandma whispered, her voice weak but urgent. They hurried out of the house, not looking back until they reached the safety of the main road. The night had been harrowing, but they had survived. As they waited for help, Sarah and Max held their grandmother close, vowing never to underestimate the dark tales of the forest again.